It's time for Around the Ozarks in 5, brought to you by the Springfield Greene County Park Board, Roto-Rooter Plumbing and Drain Service, Blue Current, and Thompson Sales. Here are your hosts, Ethan and Sarah Foreheads.
And good morning, everybody. And look, it is Ethan and Sarah. Sarah's back from Egypt.
Thank you. Good to be back. Yeah, it was awesome.
Diana did a great job filling in, so I'm grateful to her. And we'll hear a little bit more about your trip coming up.
Okay, sounds good.
First, we'll do some news. A man who was swept off a bridge by floodwater has been found dead. Highway Patrol found the body of 50-year-old Brian Richardson almost a week after he and his vehicle were washed off Warren Bridge in Ozark County. Searchers from the Highway Patrol found his body over the weekend about a mile from the bridge. Heads up if you're a Nixa Utilities customer. Someone is mailing a scam letter out to people telling them they have to pay $10,000 to something called American Water Resources. You don't. It's a scam, so just disregard the letter.
They asked for too much. If they would have asked for less than that, people would have fallen for it, maybe.
Okay.
All right. Missouri is joining 20 other states in suing the federal government over a new rule dealing with guns. The new rule from the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms requires anyone selling a gun, even person to person, to apply for a new federal firearms dealer license. The lawsuit says innocent sales between friends and family members would be a felony under this new rule. Missouri's Attorney General says that it is unconstitutional and avoids congressional authority. It's interesting. For whatever reason, I know a lot of people sell guns person to person, but I don't think it sounds like a terrible idea. I mean, I don't even know. I know everything is a slippery slope, but it makes sense to me that if I were going to go buy a gun, even from, my brother or something, that I would have to be checked out first, doesn't it?
No, I don't think so, but.
Okay. All right. Apparently, the Missouri Attorney General doesn't think so either, but I don't know. It made sense to me. All right. Missouri law enforcement seized more than $7 million worth of cash and property in 2023. The money came from criminal organizations and individuals. 124 law enforcement agencies across the state seized property last year.
Missouri State University's outgoing president gave students a final message via video over the weekend. Cliff Smart talked about how he loved being president of MSU for the last 13 years. He is retiring and will be replaced by Dr. Biff Williams, who is coming from Utah Tech University, where he's been president for the last 10 years.
Hey, how much of his selection do you think had to do with the name? The fact that he had a cool nickname?
90%.
I actually think that could potentially have been a subconscious major sticking point for them, because they want him to be relatable to students. And he has apparently carried this nickname for his whole life, and he's a grown man. So that means he's probably just like a cool person. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's a nickname for a likable guy, you think.
Yeah. I feel like there's nobody around the boardroom table that said, hey, you know what? He has a nickname that's really cool. Let's go for it. But I think subconsciously, that's why they did it.
Perhaps.
Just so you know, Ethan had a
got my vote
growing up, and he was named Frome. That's what they called him, Frome. Frome. I don't know why. I don't know where it came from, but that's what his friends settled on.
All of the literary people out there know exactly where it came from. A book called Ethan Frome by Edith Wharton. I have never read it because it doesn't sound like it's my kind of thing. But it was in my sophomore year of high school, and we got a book list in class that we had a list of books that we could read. And somebody, I remember Brian, he was sitting behind me to my right, said, "Hey, Ethan Frome, you're Frome." And I was Frome from then on.
Okay, as long as you didn't give yourself the nickname, because that's very unbecoming when people give themselves a nickname. I'm like, that doesn't count.
No, if I would have given myself a nickname, it would have been T-Bone.
And we wouldn't have T-Bone.
That's a Seinfeld reference. Springfield-based company SRC is planning a big expansion in Kentucky. It bought a 180,000 square foot manufacturing plant in Lexington. Plans to expand there. Total investment about $15 million, so it's sizable. SRC has been operating in Lexington since 2010, so good for SRC.
3 Rue 21 stores in our area are included in the big 540 stores closing after Chapter 11 bankruptcy. The 3 local Rue 21s are in the Primrose Marketplace. They're right off Glenstone and Primrose here in South Springfield, as well as the Branson Landing one and the one at Tanger Outlet. So 2 in Branson and the one in Springfield. The stores are going to be closing in the next 6 weeks, and they're having some big going out of business sales.
Is that a store our girls like? Do you take them there or no? Is it too?
I mean,
teeny
yeah, like we've been in there a few times, but it's kind of almost too trendy, if that makes sense. It's almost too trendy. Yeah, I don't know. Not a huge fan, but I mean, I'm a little surprised, honestly, because I feel like they have a clientele, but maybe not enough. So
apparently,
a gorilla at the St. Louis Zoo has passed away. Apparently, the Western lowland gorilla Little Joe had been in treatment for heart disease prior to suffering a fatal heart attack over the weekend. The zoo talked about Joe's intelligence and how much he seemed to enjoy training with the zookeepers.
Well, I'm sure we've seen Little Joe then, because we've been over there to see those gorillas a few times.
I guess you're right. Yeah, I forget. We've been in the St. Louis Zoo once with your dad and once with your brother, right?
We've got they've got a great enclosure for the big apes and the polar bears. I mean, they've got great space now for a lot of those animals. The St. Louis Zoo, if you haven't been, is a fantastic zoo. It's free, and they've really got good stuff.
Is parking also free?
Yes.
Yeah, I thought.
I mean,
so too.
You can find free parking. I think they may have paid lots. But there is park. It's forced park, so you can park on the street and walk over there. So yeah, that's free.
Yeah. Okay.
The air show that was scheduled for Thunder Ridge Nature Arena in Ridgedale has been canceled. It was scheduled for July 4th and 5th, but it had to be canceled because of what Thunder Ridge said was unforeseen challenges and circumstances beyond its control. There you go. It says it's going to keep the public posted about potentially rescheduling the air show, but it is no longer going on for July 4th and 5th.
I don't think it's going on at all, because they also said they're refunding anyone who's bought a ticket.
Well, right. They are refunding everybody who's bought a ticket, but they may end up rescheduling. Yeah, and then you'll buy new tickets.
Okay.
That's what they say. A new playground is on the way to North Springfield. Had its groundbreaking over the weekend. It is located near the Fellows Lake Marina, and what will make this playground different is that it will be all-inclusive, meaning it is being created for all kids, including those with special needs. The playground ain't going to be cheap, I'll tell you that much. It's going to cost $500,000, but it's being paid for a joint venture between the Kiwanis Club, the Hatch Foundation, Play for All, and City Utilities, which owns the land where the playground will be. July is the target date to open it. So
yeah, there's another all-inclusive playground in our area, and they are nice. They are really nice. So,
I mean,
yeah.
Imagine the difference that makes if you have a special needs child, or you have just anybody that you that needs that sort of a playground.
Right.
You don't have many options. So it's refreshing whenever they open up.
Yep. That's cool. Okay. Beef Days is going on all week in Bolivar. It is a celebration of farmers and all things beef, which we are thankful for our beef farmers, aren't we? Kicked off over the weekend with Governor Parson making an appearance. Features a rodeo on Thursday and Friday. And you can see a schedule of events at MissouriBeefDays.com.
I looked at that schedule, and they've got stuff every single day. There's a lot of stuff. There's a rodeo. There's all kinds of stuff.
They should have made their website Mo Beef.
I think that probably exists already. I think that's a different thing. I think that does exist.
Oh.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why I thought of it, because it's not original.
You thought of it because you heard somebody else say it, saw it in a commercial.
Exactly.
So how was Egypt? You're back from Egypt. You're a little under the weather coming back, I've noticed.
You know what? I believe that this is like food poisoning. The only thing is that one team member has what I have as well as several of us do, and he did not eat at the restaurant that we ate at in Dallas. So I don't know. But yes, it was good because I didn't get sick at all till I was home. I was already home. But
well, you were on the plane.
I was on the plane. I was on the plane. Yeah. Don't ask. Okay. I was on the plane. So it's truly an incredible place. I mean, the pyramids of Giza, for instance, we went down into. I mean, it's unbelievable how they built those without any like modern technology and engineering. It's just unbelievable. And then how they make a hollow spot in the side. We went to the Mummy Museum. And the mummies, I mean, yeah, they're still they're still intact. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
And then what else? Oh, my kids have to study the 7 wonders of the ancient world. So the lighthouse at Alexandria, the lighthouse itself crumbled in an earthquake, but the base, the foundation right there on the Mediterranean is just absolutely breathtaking.
Somebody was asking me, one of the CC moms was asking me yesterday if you saw how many of those, the 7 wonders of the ancient world that you did see.
I only saw 2. I only saw 2. Yeah. Of the 7.
Pyramids. And
there are more than 2 there. I think the Hanging Gardens of Babylon are there too, but, it's truly like, you think of something being old, in America, and it's just not at all. It's not at all old, So, I don't know. We were there really on a mission of sorts, but it's a sensitive area, so I can't talk a lot of detail. But
you went to the oldest coffee shop or something?
Yeah, it was a tea shop, and they have tea and coffee. It is the longest running like cafe, for lack of a better term, in the world there in Egypt. And we also went into a mosque. I think it was 1092. 1092. Yeah. So, and the tea, I'm a coffee lover, but the tea was fantastic because I felt like that's what the Egyptians were ordering. So I was like, I'm not going to order coffee if the Egyptians are ordering tea. You know what I mean? While in Rome.
Yeah. No.
Okay. So it was amazing. I don't know. I can't say enough about it. It was really like, I feel like it was like very surreal, I will tell you, tourism is alive and well in Egypt.
Okay.
Yeah. Because, some parts of the Middle East, it seems, are getting fewer tourists in this climate that we're currently living in. Yeah. But not Egypt. I mean, it was packed. And, we got to go to where they believe Mary and Joseph and Jesus spent time whenever they were trying to evade King Herod killing off the Jewish boys. So it's right there on the bank of the Nile. And it was like, oh my gosh, like they think that this is where it was. The Nile is long and it's huge. But to go where they think this happened was incredible. It's also the Orthodox Easter. So we were there on Good Friday and long Saturday, what they call long Saturday, and then left right before Easter Sunday services. So
wow.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yep.
And the biggest church in the world or something like that?
Went to the biggest church in the Middle East. Yeah. And arguably the world, if you look it up on Google. But it was founded in the 10th century. So
wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy. And
then they've like redone it a little bit, like since then, like 1975 or something. So it doesn't look crazy old or antiquated. It's been there forever. It's in the side of a mountain. It's called Cave Church. If you're interested, you can Google it. And it was unbelievably big. And there were services going on while we were there because of Easter.
That's cool.
So just thousands and thousands and thousands of Orthodox Coptic Christians.
That's cool. And you were never concerned about safety while you were there? You never felt a little uneasy?
No, the last day, there was like a meeting and Hamas leaders were there. And so that made the US government security level higher. But there was this massive truck of Egyptian police. And I was like, hello, sir. Like I had no idea that they were with us because they were in a separate car. And then whenever we got onto our transportation, we were driving, I was like, why are we following these police? I didn't know they were with us. They were escorting us, but I didn't know it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And so then one of the guys who was like in the car with us had like this massive gun. I was like, I wonder if that's fully automatic, but I feel like it's not an appropriate question. Because as you know, from traveling to Israel a couple times,
fully auto, yeah,
is very different than what you're going to see on a security guard in America. Or at least in America, they might have it. I don't know. That's not my world, but it's not going to be wide out in the open, you know?
Right.
They're not going to be carrying it like this. So, but that was basically as we were leaving. And I mean, I didn't feel threatened at all, ever. Yeah, totally safe. I mean, it's just an interesting thing how you hear on the news one thing, because that's happened to you and I, as you know, a couple times in Israel, where we thought we might feel something and you just don't. I don't know what that is. It's a funny thing.
Well, yeah. I mean, people lump the Middle East all together, and you think that because something's happening in Gaza, that that Egypt is shut down, and that's just not the case. Yeah. And it's also not unsafe.
I learned quite a bit about the Sinai Peninsula from locals, which is part of Egypt, but also kind of, there's likely a fight over it as well. So
right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, it's interesting.
Glad you're back.
Yeah, thanks. Me too. It was really good. Thankful for the Lord opening the door, honestly. So
you know who's glad you're back? Is Diana.
Oh, Diana. She's so great though. She's hilarious.
She didn't have to fill in. Get up early.
I told her that she this should be like her kind of like a bucket list when she gets to fill in, because did you know that she majored in broadcasting?
I did not know that.
Or maybe she changed her major, but that's what she wanted to do. Was broadcasting. Okay. And I was like, look, you get a taste. This is what it's like.
She's doing
dark and early.
Yeah. It was great to have her fill in. So thank you, Diana. And that'll do it for us on a Monday. We hope to see you back tomorrow. Here on Tuesday.
Bye.
Have a great day.
It's time for Around the Ozarks Wake Up Weather, sponsored by Scooters Coffee and Rescue Towing. Here's your host, meteorologist Abby Dyer.
Good morning, everybody. It is Monday, May 6th, and we are waking up with a bit of patchy fog around the Ozarks this morning. Thick fog, visibility less than a half mile at times. So if you haven't left yet, maybe plan a few extra minutes for that morning drive. Slow it down. Remember, the low beams work best in these foggy conditions. Temperatures are pretty comfortable. We're sitting right at about 60 degrees as of 5 a.m. here in Springfield, but I have numbers that will get into the low 80s today. It will end up being a pretty nice day, even though it looks kind of dreary out to start the day. We have things that will change pretty quickly in the forecast today. We are starting out with the low ground fog. That's thanks to some of the rainfall that came through yesterday. We've got a lot of moisture around on the ground, and it's leading to some foggy conditions early this morning, but the sunshine should take over. That happens by about mid-morning. We've got a dry day ahead, but a busy week ahead weather-wise. Very active weather in the Ozarks. We are mainly dry today with some residual flooding that's left around from the weekend. Additional chances at showers and thunderstorms, though, mean more flooding potential in the forecast this week. In fact, today through Wednesday, we're talking an additional 1 to 3 inches of rain that are going to be possible in the Ozarks. So a lot to get to this morning. I will dive right in. There is a stationary boundary draped across the center of the country. And tonight, I'm talking late tonight after dark, all eyes are going to be on the Midwest because we have an additional chance for severe storms in the forecast. I really think that some heavy rain is going to accompany this from the Kansas City area back up through portions of western Iowa. Then severe weather possible from portions of central Oklahoma through Kansas, through portions of Nebraska, and into the Ozarks. Now, this is all going to develop well out to our west, and we'll be tracking a line of strong to severe storms coming into the Ozarks very late tonight, well after dark, and the timeline here looks very, very late. High winds are going to be the biggest threat. So west of Highway 65 tonight, that's where I think we could see some crazy wind gusts, 60 to 80 miles an hour, which can be very damaging. And then that line of storms, it's actually going to be moving through the Highway 65 corridor by between midnight and 4 a.m. We are maybe still holding on to some of the severe storms as we wake up on Tuesday morning. So an active night ahead. It's so important to make sure that before you go to bed tonight, you have a way to receive weather warnings. So whether that means, making sure your weather radio is set, making sure the volume on your phone is set, you're going to get those emergency alerts because this does look to be an overnight event for many in the Ozarks. And I have some severe weather risks that could go along with this. As I said, damaging wind gusts are my biggest concern. Winds could do a whole lot of damage and often do. Large hail up to the size of quarters, though, is also possible. And there's even a low wind threat for a few short-lived tornadoes. So have multiple ways to receive warnings and remain weather aware overnight tonight. This is not the only chance for strong to severe storms. In fact, I think another chance is possible tomorrow night into early Wednesday. These 2 rounds of rain and storms could mean another 1 to 3 inches of rainfall for the Ozarks, and that could mean more flooding this week. Flash flooding is going to be possible along low-lying areas, places that are prone to flooding. If you've already had a problem with this over the last week with all the rain in the Ozarks, well, just count on it. More rain means additional problems with flooding. Those areas could fill back up. We could also see some rapid rises possible along area waterways. So it is top of mind. Always remember the rule, turn around, don't drown, especially some of these storms that are arriving overnight. It may be early in the morning that you see water over the roadway and you're just going to have to find another way around by tomorrow morning. There's also severe weather potential here. We're talking for tomorrow night into early Wednesday. Once again, it looks like the atmosphere will be conducive for thunderstorms and potential severe weather. This is late Tuesday night into early Wednesday. So we're just going to have to track these couple rounds of strong to severe storms again, marching through the center part of the country. It's very active to start the month of May, and this week is no exception. Excessive rain is possible with these. I already mentioned the threat for flooding, and I'm expecting that we see additional chances for some of the strong to heavy thunderstorms moving through the eastern portion of the country later this week as well, while we in the Ozarks calm down a little bit. Around the country, other things making headlines are heavy snow that's possible for the Southern Cascades and the Northern Rockies. So while we're dealing with the heavy thunderstorms that cause severe weather, we're still dealing with winter weather back up to the north and west. All right, it's time for the Around the Ozarks Wake Up Weather Brain Twister trivia question that I have for you. This is what I left you with on Friday. And of course, yesterday, it was Cinco de Mayo. So I hope you had a good celebration. But what does Cinco de Mayo actually celebrate? Do you know? And the options were A, Mexican Independence Day, B, the Battle of Puebla Victory, C, Mexican Constitution Day, or D, Benito Juarez's birth. And the answer is B, the Battle of Puebla Victory. A lot of folks think Cinco de Mayo is Mexican Independence Day. It is not. It is a non-federal holiday that celebrates the date of the Mexican Army's victory over France at the Battle of Puebla during the Franco-Mexican War. That happened May 5th, 1862, and we've been celebrating ever since. Speaking of celebrations, if you had some Mexican food or a margarita yesterday, this question is for you. What does margarita mean in Spanish? Do you think it means A, magnolia, B, daisy, C, lemonade, or D, martini? You could win $20 to Scooter's Coffee for a correct guess. All you have to do is head on over to the website. It's aroundtheozarks.com. Click on contest. You'll find the Brain Twister trivia question there. It is free to enter, and every single day we give away a $20 gift card to Scooter's Coffee. So thank you so much to Scooters, our sponsor of Around the Ozarks Wake Up Weather. Also, thank you to Rescue Towing, our other sponsor. You can also find up-to-the-minute weather information all day long. That's also at the website, aroundtheozarks.com. And we are still running this fun giveaway for Mother's Day. So make sure you enter that contest while you're at the website entering the Brain Twister trivia question. You could win Mom a $150 gift card for a flower arrangement provided by the flower merchant and $50 gift card to Civil Kitchen. What a way to celebrate Mom. So if you are a mom, you can enter yourself, or if you're looking for a gift, head on over to the website and you can find the details there. Thank you so much for listening. Once the fog lifts, it'll end up being a pretty nice afternoon. Then we're tracking severe storms overnight tonight, additional chances for storms Tuesday night into Wednesday, and high temperatures both days near 80 degrees with partly sunny skies.